Wonderful. Well, everybody, thank you so much for being here. I'm really delighted to have you here. My name is Janine Firpo, and I'm one of the co-founders of Invest for Better. And the intention today is to tell you a little bit about us and why we're here, what we do, and what it means to become a member of Invest for Better, and tell you a little bit about the circle experience and becoming part of a core circle. So Jasmine, why don't you go ahead? So let me give you, to start, a little bit of background. Some of you might know this, and I won't take a lot of time here, but I think it's helpful to know who we are and why we exist. We were founded in 2021, so we're only a couple of years old. And our mission is to empower women really to understand the power of their investments, to learn how to align them with their values, and to activate them so that we can create a more just and sustainable economic system. So our big mission really is the fact that by 2030, if you don't know this, but by 2030 in the United States, women will control the majority of money in this country. And when we invest, we tend to invest very differently than men do. And we have the power through our money to literally change what matters in our economy and what is paid attention to in our economy. And so we're working to educate women to this end so that not only are they become confident investors, but we collectively really have an impact on the world. And the reason we're doing this, my co-founder, Ellen Remmer, and I met when I was busy writing a book, and both of us have done this with our own money. So part of the impetus for what we do comes from the fact that we have seen the power and the potential in making conscious decisions with your money through our own investing decisions. I've been personally on this mission for over 15 years. And for me, it was really a hard struggle to find ways to invest my money in ways that were meaningful. And when I retired from my prior career, which was in international development, I decided that I was going to try to make it easier for other women. So that's in part why we're here and what we're trying to do. What I'd love to do, when we started Invest for Better, we put together a little video that explains a little bit more and a little bit more eloquently who we are and what we do. And Jasmine, I'd love to have you run that 2-minute video now, if you would. No sound.
Sorry about that. I just need to share my computer sound here.
Money is power. So you work hard to get it, and you work hard to keep it. You're doing well, but you also want to do good. For you, it's not just about wealth creation. It's also about being in alignment with your values. But investing your money and making decisions about where to move it can feel overwhelming. Where do you start? How do I know what I'm invested in? What if I'm funding things I don't agree with, like fossil fuels, prisons, tobacco, weapons? How do I move those funds and to where? What if I make a mistake? The current financial system was built by men for men. And while most men learn from other men how to use the system to their advantage, a lot of women don't have those conversations. You feel like you don't know enough to take action with your money, and you don't have time to figure it out on your own. Women are more likely than men to give to charity as their income rises, but we don't trust ourselves as investors. It feels like the financial system doesn't speak to us. You're frustrated with what feels like a flawed financial system. You realize that you're not in control of your own money. What if we told you there's a better way? At Invest for Better, we are leading a movement to build a better system that aligns with our values. We're doing this by educating women on a different approach to investing. It's not about giving money away, and it's not about profit at all costs. Values-aligned investing is about investing in what matters to you and getting great returns along the way. Things like sustainable food and agriculture, supporting female small business owners, or clean energy. We can help you do this. Invest for Better is a values-aligned money academy with peer-led investing circles and a trusted community built by women for women. We are a movement that is reimagining investing. We've created a values-aligned investing curriculum that demystifies the financial system. Our peer-led investing circles help you learn how to use your investments as a force for meaningful change. And more than anything, we are a trusted community of women who encourage each other to take action and have fun along the way. Unlike guides you've had in the past, an advisor who talked down to you, a book that told you to just save more than you spend, we're not interested in perpetuating the status quo. We're here to help you step into your power. Join the ranks of all the fierce women who are courageous enough to do things differently. Join the women who are leading the way with Invest for Better.
Great. Thanks, Jasmine. So for those of you who don't know, during COVID, I wrote a book. It's called Activate Your Money, Invest to Grow Your Wealth and Build a Better World. And it really is about how we can do both things, get financial return for our investments and also invest in the things that really matter to us and invest in the kind of world we want to see. What I learned in writing that book was that a lot of us, as the video just said, don't really think we're very good at investing, and we don't really feel confident when we try to invest. And so what we're doing is we're teaching women how to invest, and we're teaching them how to invest with their values. There are many, many places that you can go and just learn basic investment information, but what really sets Invest for Better apart are two things. One is that we're focused very much so on the values-aligned approach to investment and transforming the way you engage with your money. So that's one piece that's really different about us. The other thing that's really different about us is that we learn together. So one of the things that I've learned, I've been in investment clubs many times in my life, and I have learned more from those experiences than I have ever learned in any of the books I read or the other things that I did to become a good investor. And as women, what we believe is that we really like learning together. And that is what we're offering through Invest for Better, is we put women together in small circles and they talk to each other many times for the first time they've ever talked about their money. And what we hear from prior members is that this experience of actually having the opportunity to exist in a safe space with other women, to talk about your money, to learn about your money, to share your stories about money is transformative. So that's a really big part of what we do. And it's a very big part of what sets us apart from anybody else who's doing investment training or investment education. Go ahead, Jasmine. So when I know that many of you came here to learn a little bit about what these circles are. So maybe a friend told you that they were going to start an Invest for Better circle, or maybe you read about it on the web. But when you join and participate in a circle, you are also becoming an active member of Invest for Better. And so before we talk about the circles themselves, I wanted to give you a little bit of a background and a little bit of an insight to what that meant. So this image actually came from the video that you just saw. And the first thing is we have a money academy. So we have created curriculum for women to learn together that you could stay in for 3 years if you wanted to. So in addition to what we call our core circle experience, which is a 6-month training, and we'll talk a little bit more about what's in that and what you get from it, we have also developed a starter course for people who really want to think more about the basics about budgeting. How do you figure out what you want to do for retirement? So we have a starter course. It's a 3-month course, the core course, which is a 6-month course. And then we've created a set of what we call deep dive courses, which are also 3-month courses that go into take you deeper into certain subjects. For example, we have a deep dive course on how to make values aligned investments in the stock market, which is where many of us have our investment dollars. We also have a course on how to invest, thinking through a gender lens. So how do you invest your money in a way that it uplifts women and girls? We have a course on racial justice investing and so on. So we have 7 of these different courses. So when you join Invest for Better, you have the opportunity to participate in as many of these courses as you want to. We also have the investing circles, and this is actually the way we teach and the way we learn and the way we share information is through those investing circles. In those investing circles, you will be put in partnership with accountability buddies to help you actually move from knowledge that you're getting to action. And then we also have a trusted community, which would include the members of the women in your circle, those accountability buddies that you're having ongoing dialogue with, as well as the broader community of women that are available to you when you join Invest for Better to help you and support you, answer your questions. Many of the leading thinkers in the values aligned investment space and gender lens investing are part of our community. So we have a really amazing community of women who are here to support each other. We are, as I think I mentioned, we're a nonprofit organization. And so a lot of the women who are supporting us and working with us are doing this on a volunteer basis. And I think that's a really important piece of who we are as well, because we're not trying to make money. We just really, all of us just really want other women to learn and to have access to the kinds of information that will really empower them in their own financial lives. The other thing we do is we have a series that we call the Activation Series, and our Activation Series is a speaker series. So every month we have 3 speakers. We have one who speaks around the financial world in general, and we've had topics as diverse as financial intimacy and how to talk with your partners about money to cryptocurrency. We have one speaker a month who's actually speaking about a particular investment product that you could choose to put your money behind if you wanted to. And then we have something called Ask the Expert every month, which is a financial advisor who will get on an open office hour call with whichever members want to be on that call to answer any questions that they might have. So there's a lot of value that comes around what you're getting when you join a circle. You're getting this whole membership model and this whole community behind you. The circle that we're going to talk about in a minute is just one piece of a much larger set of content. And these talks that we've been having them now for 2 years. So we have probably 40 or 50 videos that teach you about what to do with your money across all asset classes. And when I talk about an asset class, what I mean is an asset class is basically a distinguishing bucket of how money can be handled. So cash is an asset class, fixed income or bonds is an asset class, the stock market is an asset class, private investing is an asset class. We teach you about all of those when you go through our curriculum. What I would love to do now is let's go to the next slide. Let's talk a little bit about the circle itself. So if you came through a leader who is interested in having you join their circle, or you just learned about this is what the core circle experience is that you would be starting in October. It's basically a small group of 8 to 20 women, and it would be facilitated by maybe someone you know, or maybe someone you're going to get to know and who will become a friend, hopefully, over time. Your meetings are going to include joint learning. They also have large and small group discussions. So normally what you will do is you will have about an hour of pre-work before each meeting. That pre-work includes things like reading something, perhaps a chapter in the book. It will include reading on the web. You maybe will watch a video or some other informative source. And then you'll do some worksheets, possibly in some of the sessions, you'll actually do research. There's a variety of different things that you will do as pre-work to prepare you to go into your meeting. Some of you will have in-person meetings. Many of you will likely have Zoom meetings. Those meetings are going to be about 90 minutes. And then you will also be put into a triad. So you'll be paired with 2 other women, and you will have a meeting with them for about an hour once a month as well. So your total time commitment over this 6-month period when you're in one of these circles will be about 3.5 hours a month, just so that you know a little bit more about what you're getting into. So let's go ahead. So I think that's all I wanted to say on this. And what we're going to do now, I think it would be really valuable for you to hear a little bit from some of our past members and how this experience of being in a circle impacted them. And as I said earlier, this experience of talking to other women about their money is what we hear from our members is the most powerful part of their time with us. Let's go ahead and show the next video.
For Better circles are doing is I just believe this is capturing kind of a movement, a feeling across the country that I'm noticing, and I'm sure many of you are. That's why we're all here today, that women are just like ready to be empowered about their money in ways that we never have, that we historically have not been. Just say if there's any ounce of you that's a little bit nervous or feeling, what have I gotten myself into? I felt that way, and now I'm like, oh, you know, that was not an issue. This is a community. We're all here together, learning together. You don't have to know all the things. We're all, and it's just great that you're doing this, and let's get more of these circles happening all across the country.
I joined an Invest for Better circle to meet and collaborate with other women to move the needle on racial justice investing in particular. The circle led me to recruit other women with influence into deeper impact investing, and I've got a list of action steps to further align money with values, both in my own portfolio, but also with the organizations I'm involved with, in my denomination's endowment and a local foundation. Join the circle and spread the word. It's an awesome experience.
A couple years ago, I started an Invest for Better circle so that I could learn alongside other women in my community about how to shift our money to align with our values. And I'm so glad I did. Not only have I made personal changes in where my money is invested, but I've also been able to learn alongside others. And we've built an amazing network of women who are learning and growing and making change. I'm so thrilled to be part of the Invest for Better network, and I hope you'll join too.
Perfect level for our members to be having these conversations. Some of the feedback we've gotten from them is that, you know, not ready to really create my, official plan just yet, but I feel so much more empowered. I feel so much more fluent. I have increased awareness. Now when I see a news article about impact investing, I feel a part of the conversation, and just feeling more ready to have those conversations in their households and establish a plan.
Really enjoyed was really diving into how you personally view money. I actually took some of this learning and over the weekend worked with my own family to figure out some of our own financial archetypes and different things like that, and it brought up some really, really interesting discussions that I think will really help our family personally.
This is such a great way for me to continue to grow my own understanding of this and really be able to figure out what kind of actions I want to take. Create a space where everybody could just bring whatever you're bringing to the table and let's learn together. And that's really what it is. It's about, let's just learn together and find out about this stuff. It was also a really great way for us to continue to build a network beyond ourselves into these other, incredibly smart, intelligent, funny, wonderful women that are doing some really amazing work.
Great. So we've had over 1,000 women now who have gone through this curriculum. Just so that you know, I think we've had about 150 circles, 150 leaders and 150 circles. And when you first step into a circle, the very first meeting that you have, one of the things that's going to happen is you're going to set ground rules. And these are examples of some of the ground rules that get set. Every circle will decide what's right for them, but we provide the leaders with a lot of materials to help them facilitate these meetings very, very effectively. And recommendations on ground rules is one of them. But the purpose of the ground rules is to really create a place where you can feel safe talking about your money. And what you will find is that you start to build trust with the women that you are in conversation with, and it really begins to open up possibilities around how you talk about your money, how you think about your money. And you will find that many of our circles are very heterogeneous. They have women who are across different ages, different socioeconomic backgrounds, different races. And that sharing between women of different backgrounds is something that's really, really valued from our members, and you learn a lot from that experience. So creating the safe space is the first thing that you do, one of the first things that you do when you enter the circle experience. These are some of the, let's go to the next slide, which describe some of what will happen when you go into the core curriculum. So as we said earlier, the core curriculum is a 6-month experience. You're going to learn about, you're going to talk about your money stories, how you have thought about money historically. You're going to delve into what your values are and what values you want to bring to the table if you're going to invest your money with your values. You are going to explore and learn about what values aligned investing is, what it means, how it works, why it's important for women to step up this way, what it does for us in terms of how it makes us feel about our money. I think about, there's financial freedom, which is feeling like you have enough money to do the things that you want. There's financial independence, which means that you have the confidence that you need to not have to rely on other people to help you make financial decisions. And there's financial fulfillment. And financial fulfillment for me is when you have the other two, or you're on your way to the other two, you feel confident, but you also know that your money is doing things that you just feel great about. I mean, I get messages from different investments that I have, and when I read them and know that my money is helping to fight climate change, or that it just empowered a woman to run her business, or it's helping inner city individuals buy homes. I mean, it makes me feel good to know that that is what my money is doing. So you will learn about what this is, and not only that, but you will get insight into specific types of investments you could make across asset classes. So we will start with cash. We'll talk about where you bank, and we will talk to you and help you understand what other choices you have with banks that are doing more with your money than putting it into the oil industry or financing the prison system or some of the other things that you might not want your money to be doing. We'll start with cash. We'll talk to you about bonds and fixed income. We'll teach you about that. We will teach you about public equities. You'll do quite a bit in the public equity space to explore and figure out how you would diligence a particular investment to determine whether it's something you want to be invested in. We'll introduce you to the private markets. If you've never thought about investing in private equity or private debt, we'll explain to you how that works, introduce you to angel investing. When you will also help you think about whether or not you want or need a financial advisor. And if you do, how you could go about finding one that's values aligned. When you walk away from the class, you will walk away with something called an investment policy statement, which you will be building throughout the entire curriculum. And that investment policy statement is either something you can use with an existing financial advisor to help you make decisions about how you want to invest going forward, or something that you can use yourself. You will also walk away with a set of commitments about the next steps you're going to take. And you'll walk away with this little group of 3 women who are your accountability partners as you continue through your year at Invest for Better. Go ahead, Jasmine. So when you do this course, it's really important to make a commitment to yourself to commit to the time. So I mentioned earlier that this is about a 3.5 to 4 hour a month time commitment. When you step up to do Invest for Better, try to find the time to actually do the pre-work, to attend the meetings, and to meet with your accountability buddies. It really, really matters. We have women come who are not able to find the time to do the work, and it will not, you're going to walk away with more depending on how much you put into it. It's really helpful to the other members of your circle that you have done the homework. The conversations within the circle meetings are much richer when everybody has done the homework and thought about things a little bit ahead. So if you're going to do this, do it. We worked really, really hard to make the time commitment really small. But the truth of the matter is, if you're going to be a smart, confident investor, and if you're going to learn how to invest with your values or without your values, regardless, you need to make the time. So I'm just putting that point out, reminding you. Now, we all get busy. There's definitely going to be months where maybe you can't make a meeting. It maybe is that you couldn't do your homework or your pre-work. That's fine. It doesn't mean that you should quit. You are still welcome to be in the circle. But the more you're able to stick to the commitments that you're making to the other women in that circle, the better it will be for all of you. Go ahead, Jasmine. So once you go through the circle experience, what happens? You're joining up as a member for a year, and you have a 6-month core circle experience. When that's over, there are a number of different things that you can do with the remainder of your year. So first, you can continue to stay in your triads, and we really recommend that because it's a great way to just, if you meet once a month and have conversations, you build deeper connections. Some of our triads have stayed together for quite a while. And it also keeps a certain amount of accountability behind you to ensure that you take the actions that you need to take. I think we all know that one of the hardest things for us as women who are so busy is actually finding the time to do something. And when you have people that you're accountable to, it helps make sure you follow through. It's very easy to let things that we really want to do fall through the cracks when we don't have somebody who's watching over us. So they're really, really helpful. The other thing you can do when you complete your first 6 months is you can take any of the deep dives that are on offer, and you can take, we offer them 3 times a year. So you'll have an opportunity to possibly do 2 deep dives or even more if you want to do a couple of them concurrently. Throughout the time that you're a member, you are welcome to participate in any of the speaker series or talks that we have throughout the month. You have access to all the videos, so that's all available to you at any time throughout your membership. And then at the end of the year, we really recommend that the leaders facilitate a 1-year reunion and check in to see where you are at the end of the year. And the reason that I was a little late for this call today was because I ran a circle 6 months ago. We ended 6 months ago, and I just had my reunion meeting an hour before this call. It was very cool. It was fun seeing all those women again. And then the other thing that you can do after the year is you can renew your membership so you can take more deep dive courses if you want, stay in community, and also continue to take advantage of the activation talks and other things that we have. So I'm going to, at this point, hand the mic over to Jasmine, who's going to tell you a little bit about the tools that we use to stay in communication and some of the next steps if you want to continue down this journey of partnering with us, becoming a member, and joining a circle.
Great. Thanks, Janine. And I have to just second that the women that you encounter in this experience are absolutely phenomenal and so inspiring, so generous, and such a huge part of what makes what I'm doing a wonderful experience. So given all of this amazing content that Janine just went through, all of what membership offers, how do we deliver that to you? The circle leaders are really central to this experience, and they're going to have a personal relationship with you throughout your first 6 months at minimum. Possibly beyond, like you just heard Janine reference, because circles also stay in touch. But we also have a beautiful online portal to support and enhance your experience. And about 18 months ago, we went out to find kind of a one-stop shop where we could provide access to the many different kinds of offerings that we wanted to bring to the Invest for Better community. And so we wanted people to be able to access the curriculum directly, for example. And we also wanted to keep track of all the events that Janine was talking about, both accessing them live and recordings of them. We wanted to have a place for conversation. And so we found something that allows even each circle to have its own private group for continuing their own conversations between meetings, but also gives you access to a broader conversation amongst the entire Invest for Better community, sometimes on specific themes and topics. So there's so much available to you. And this is, 24/7 throughout the year that you're a member. You'll have access to the courses that you're taking part in, all of these events that Janine mentioned, this private group for your circle, and some of the additional member benefits and supplemental content that we offer, discounts to allied organizations and that sort of thing. So some of you, if you've joined already, may have gone on and created a login for this portal called Mighty Networks. It's really easy to navigate. It's kind of like a private social network. It's a lot like Facebook or LinkedIn, but without all the distractions. And we have total control over what's available to you. And so it's a great resource to really enhance the circle and to provide all these other benefits that Janine was referring to. And so if you're excited to take the next step and do this with us, the first thing that you're going to want to do, if you haven't, is complete the circle registration form. And there's a button on our website. You're just going to click that, fill out some very basic information, and then we're going to follow up with you with a couple emails. There's an email to make a donation, and so you can decide what that is. We do have a sliding scale that we suggest. We do ask for $125 minimum. Again, this is for the entire year and all of the benefits that we described, and it's even tax deductible, most of it, because we're a nonprofit. If you are looking for a leader and haven't yet connected with a circle, we will also be sending you an email with instructions to access our Find a Circle page. So we've got a whole bunch of listings currently. All the leaders who are looking for members right now have profiles up, and there's going to be a button there where you can reach out to them, connect with them about what's happening, what their meeting schedule is, whether they've got space. But I can tell you most circles are still welcoming more members, and there's lots to choose from. So depending on what you're looking for, what your availability is, there's probably a circle that's a great match for you. It's still some that are being added. Most are starting in October, some are starting in the beginning of November. But this is the time when folks, if they haven't already been invited by a leader, are matching up with the circle that's right for them. And then once you have that set up, you'll know when your first meeting is going to be. As Janine mentioned, there's a bit of pre-work before each meeting, so you're going to want to go in to the Mighty Network and check out the Module 1 exercises and complete that at your convenience. And then you'll have that first meeting, and that's when you'll really get to kind of create that bond with your group. The first meeting is very it's a really powerful experience. Our leaders have gone through it in their training, and they all loved doing it. So we're just really excited for you to be able to participate in this. And it's just the beginning. And as Jean mentioned, this first 6 months is a really core part of our experience, but there's much more as well. So I think we'll take the slides down, right? We don't have, do you want to say a few more things before we go to questions, Janine?
Oh, I realized we may not have talked enough about the leaders, so I just want to explain that too. So each of these circles is run by 1 or 2 women who have stepped up to lead. They lead for many reasons. Sometimes they lead because they want to learn themselves. They want to pull friends and family and others together. Many of them lead because they just have that leader spirit. Some of them lead because they're financial advisors and they want to share this knowledge with others. So we have a variety of women who step up as leaders. When they step up, we work with them for a couple of months prior to them actually kicking off the circle with you. And we help educate and inform them about how to run one of these experiences and how to be a good leader. And then we also will meet with them once a month throughout this 6-month period to, again, get feedback from them, to tell them more about what's coming up in the next meeting, to prepare them for that. And we also are providing them with training around facilitation, community building, and other things that all of us could benefit from in terms of being leaders ourselves in the world. So That's how the leader part of this works. And this really is a movement. So Invest for Better is just one part of women around the country and around the world who are really committed to the economic empowerment of all of us, and who are really committed to, as we step into our full financial freedom and our full financial power, that we're thinking differently about the way we invest, that we're thinking differently about what money means, that we're thinking differently about how we make our investment choices so that we can truly change the world.